You're watching Drum TV, your source for news and information for our soldiers, their families, and the civilian workforce here at Fort Drum, New York, and overseas. Coming up on Drum TV, a fallen 10th Mountain Division soldier is awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, remembering Sergeant First Class Jared Monty. And it's a one-tank trip to a classic car museum. All that and more.
My name is Sergeant Matthew Bennett. You're watching Drum TV. Stay with us.
In recognition of his extraordinary personal courage, loyalty, and selfless service, a fallen 10th Mountain Division soldier and a member of the 3rd Brigade Combat Team, Sergeant First Class Jared Monty will join a select few to receive the Medal of Honor.
During a ceremony at the White House, President Barack Obama presented the Medal of Honor to Sergeant First Class Monty's family.
Compassion, perseverance, strength. A love for his fellow soldiers. Those are the values that defined Jared Monty's life and the values he displayed in the actions that we recognize here today. It was June 21st, 2006, in the remotest northeast of Afghanistan, near the border with Pakistan. Sergeant Monty was a team leader on a 16-man patrol. They'd been on the move for 3 days, down dirt roads, sloshing through rivers, hiking up steep mountain trails, their heavy gear on their backs, moving at night and in the early morning to avoid the scorching 100-degree heat. Their mission, to keep watch on the valley down below in advance of an operation to clear the area of militants. Those who were there remember that evening on the mountain, a rocky ridge not much bigger than this room. Some were standing guard, knowing they had been spotted by a man in the valley. Some were passing out MREs and water. There was talk of home and plans for leave. Jared was overheard remembering his time serving in Korea. Then, just before dark, there was a shuffle of feet in the woods, and that's when the tree line exploded in a wall of fire. One member of the patrol said it was like thousands of rifles crackling, bullets and heavy machine gun fire ricocheting across the rocks, rocket-propelled grenades raining down. Fire so intense that weapons were shot right out of their hands. Within minutes, one soldier was killed, another was wounded. Everyone dove for cover, behind a tree, a rock, a stone wall. This patrol of 16 men was facing a force of some 50 fighters. Outnumbered, the risk was real. They might be overrun, they might not make it out alive. That's when Jared Monty did what he was trained to do. With the enemy advancing, so close they could hear their voices, he got on his radio and started calling in artillery. When the enemy tried to flank them, he grabbed a gun and drove them back. And when they came back again, he tossed a grenade and drove them back again. And when these American soldiers saw one of their own, wounded, lying in the open, some 20 yards away, exposed to the approaching enemy, Jared Monty did something no amount of training can instill. His patrol leader said he'd go, but Jared said, "No, he is my soldier. I'm going to get him." It was written long ago that the bravest are surely those who have the clearest vision of what is before them, glory and danger alike, and yet, notwithstanding, go out to meet it. Jared Monty saw the danger before him, and he went out to meet it. He handed off his radio, he tightened his chin strap, and with his men providing cover, Jared rose and started to run into all those incoming bullets, into all those rockets.
Me and the other FOs had huddled around a radio and listened as those soldiers fought for their lives. We listened as KS-35 called round after round on a seemingly endless enemy. Cool and calm, not a hint of excitement or fear in his voice. When our buddies had returned, they gave the rest of the team the details of what had happened that night. Even though what we heard weighed heavily in our hearts, not a single person was surprised. Sergeant First Class Monty had not only devastated the enemy with an unreal mix of coolness and precision, but he had also made the ultimate sacrifice. He had given his life saving one of his own. The Medal of Honor that he is receiving is great recognition of his uncommon valor and courage, and his supreme sacrifice. It is also final confirmation of something that he had been to his soldiers all along, the hero. Not a day goes by that I don't think about him and thank him for everything that he did for me and our FIST team. It was truly an honor to call him chief and a blessing to call him a friend.
As the President presented the Medal of Honor, soldiers here at Fort Drum looked on.
The miles didn't matter, whether it was the soldiers at Fort Drum or the families in Washington, D.C. Everyone sat together remembering Sergeant First Class Jared C. Monty. Soldiers of 371 Cavalry gathered together in a small room to witness our nation's greatest honor bestowed on one of their own.
It's sad to know that anyone died, but it's a lot of pride just knowing that, hey, that guy was from my unit, and he did that brave stuff, and you can relate.
Soldiers have already started to make a permanent display to honor their own Medal of Honor awardee in the lobby of their headquarters.
Monty was killed June 21, 2006, in Afghanistan while trying to rescue wounded comrades after his team was ambushed. He was a brave soldier and a dedicated NCO who gave his life attempting to save another's. But Sergeant First Class Jared Monty was also a proud son, a loyal friend, and more to those who knew him well. Monty dreamed of taking what he had learned as a leader of men and returning to his hometown of Raynham, Massachusetts to become a teacher, helping a new generation to be all they could be. Today his dream is realized through the Sergeant First Class Jared C. Monty Memorial Scholarship Fund, and the community he loved continues to honor him with memorials both large and small. A street renamed in his honor, a garden cultivated with him in mind. Sergeant First Class Jared Monty lives on in the hearts and minds of those who knew him, and the Medal of Honor is one more fitting tribute to a man who gave everything in life and beyond.